So a while back, GJ's wife was quoted to have said that she is going to support Tinubu. In fact, she's going to jump into the campaign with Remi Tinubu to campaign for her husband to return in 2027. That there's no reason why she's going to return back to the government house in Abuja. A trending video just popped up on social media where she, among so many women, was saying that she looks so young and then she would never consider returning back to government house because, again, her husband, has been there once and the stress of Nigeria is too much, and that she would rather not, follow her husband to the government house if eventually the man even wins that election. So let's watch this video.
Because to me, if you call me now for villa, I won't go there. I won't go there. Don't you see how young I am? Because the stress is so much. The stress of Nigeria is so much. If God managed to bring you out of it, you should glorify God. And thank God for the Lord's doing. Because He's marvelous in His eyes. He has taken you there once. Why do you want to go there again? Yeah, I won't go. So I need your love. I want to share love with you. May God bless also. Jay, help us, help us. There is God. There is God, God. God should descend, today God will descend here. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. This thing will end today. My sisters, if your child lost, will you stay and keep quiet? Will you people stay and keep quiet? The president now is calling you, come, I want to help you. You don't want to appear. Will you agree? No. Now the first lady is calling you, come, I want to help you. Come to find your child, your missing child. Will you keep quiet? No. Child, there is God. There is God. The blood we are sharing, there is God. 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 It's okay.
Well, if you followed the JJ era from 2011 to 2015, because we know that JJ became president of the country by virtue of circumstance. It wasn't. It was his mandate, but not directly his mandate. He was the deputy or the vice president to Yar'Adua. So Yar'Adua died, and then at the time he was vice president, his wife wasn't in prominent. His wife wasn't playing a prominent role at all in governance at the time. I mean, just like we have currently, and in fact, just like we had under, previous government, the wife of the vice president rarely play any role. It's just when you are invited. Just like they say, vice presidents are usually spare tires. So you can imagine what the wife would be in government. It's just when you are called to travel with the president's wife, travel on an entourage with women to go and help people in one remote village. Those are the kinds of things that they're practically involved in in that sense, in that state of things. Okay, so she only started playing a prominent role when Goodluck became the president, and then she came out heavily strong. Her voice was all over the place. And then we also had the 2011 elections that Goodluck Jonathan swept. The North just wanted Goodluck Jonathan to do that particular tenure, but they were angry when he came out to say he wants to run again in 2015. That was one of the reasons why he lost the elections. So if you look at the 2015 elections, it was really, really a very, very highly intoxicating, or should I call it? It was a very divisive elections. Very, very divisive election. In fact, there were even threat of war, and we all remember how the elections collation was almost scuttled. We all remember Urubebe, going live on TV and screaming on the then INEC chairman and accusing him of fraud and all of that. And then it wasn't up to like 10, 20 minutes afterwards, or also that Goodluck Jonathan called the president, Buhari at the time, and said that congratulations to him that he had won, and then everything was now diffused because many people thought that there was going to be war. The South versus the North, and the Muslim North were all about saying that they are going to scatter everything, or this country will not be governable enough if at all anything happened. I mean, at that time, everyone was scared that something bad is going to happen. I think the fear was even more in the South than in the North, because in the North they were ready. There were even rumors, unfounded rumors, that a lot of persons have been imported from outside the country to come and help fight. To come and help fight South. Or fight people in the South, or move people. And again, remember, Barack Obama was the president of the U.S. at the time.
The level of interference by the Obama's government was very overwhelming. It's not as if I couldn't have won the election even with that. But if, by my own thinking, and also the way some other people looked at it, they go outside the normal diplomatic relationship, then it should be mentioned. Sending that person to Nigeria at the eve of election, after Obama even issued a statement directing Nigerians to vote for the next chapter, that tells you something. And we should not sweep this things under the carpet. If a foreign country, or the African country, or even America or any other country interferes with our own elections, we should mention it. Immediately the Chibok issue came up, we expect Nigerians to be concerned. How do we get these girls out? Within a couple of days, we saw people going to the US would bring back our girls' placards. How? Why? And of course, the Mrs. Obama received one of those placards. I cannot take responsibility for the abduction. I don't control Boko Haram. They are criminals. But as a president, of course, it's not the president that go to the field. You have security and intelligence officers that do the work. Let me admit that, yes, maybe they do their best, but their best was not good enough.
So when you look at that election, you see that the North really didn't like Goodluck Jonathan. They wanted him out completely. And come and see Twitter. Twitter melted completely. There was no name that Goodluck Jonathan was not called. I mean, and I think that was the time that Omojua and this guy that does LinkedIn optimization, I mean, got into prominence because they were swimming against the tide. I mean, they just felt like this is the best time for a Yoruba person to emerge as vice president And again, they just felt that Buhari, given what they have read about him in the past, he was going to do better with a pastor from the south. So Goodluck Jonathan was just not the man, and there were also allegations of corruption at the time. So the abuse was just mind-boggling. There's this stern support from the southwest, and again, then of course, the entire north. Buhari has always had a bankable number of 6 million ever since he started. His presidential election, journey. So it was just a matter of time for somebody to just add a few numbers for him to become president. So that 2015 was just an opportunity that provided. So he swept the entire north, and then a few numbers from the southwest. That was what made him president. So I can imagine, the wife of the president, Mama Peace, now coming out to say that, man, can't you see how young I am? Can't you see how young I am? That Nigeria's problem is no longer my issue, God saved us from government house, and now you are telling her to go and return and go back to presidency. Well, I think the scenarios are different, if you ask me. The scenarios are no longer the same because, one, you are not going to come back. Goodluck Jonathan is just going to do one term and that's the end. Two, you already know better. You have an experience. You already know better. You already know that whatever you do, you are being marked. Of course, you are going to care less about what people say. You're just going to go ahead and do it, irrespective of whatever they think or whatever they say. And at this point, so there's also an issue of the fact that a Peter Obi is also a factor. So there's a whole lot that's playing out at the same time that will make the 2015 elections look a little bit different from the 2027 elections, because a whole lot of persons think that the reason why Goodluck Jonathan is coming on board is because the North would steal the election. Now look at how it's going to play out. So imagine you have three persons from the South coming out to become president. You have the president, of course, incumbent, then Goodluck Jonathan, former president, who has a bankable number because at that time, even though he lost, he had at least 12 million votes. Then we had the Peter Obi also, who had his own 6.1 million votes. So when you put that juxtaposes, you have like three persons, right? Three persons from the South who are going to share Southern votes. So your Peter Obi is not going to get that 6.1 million vote from what we have, from what we know. He might not even win the entire southern Nigeria. Not the entire, but he won the significant number of southern Nigeria's vote. So, and then you have a Goodluck Jonathan who is now loved in the North. Loved in the sense that, yes, 2015 they rejected him, but now because of the scenarios being different, and knowing that he postulated more, he tilted more to the North by giving them virtually everything. In fact, he even did more for the North as a president than he did for the South. So they are looking at him like, okay, this guy is weak. He's not the kind of guy who is a Buhari, who would damn the consequences like he did for the Southeasterners. Went in there with tanks, beat Igbo boys, killed Igbo boys. He did, it's not going to be the same thing. They know that Goodluck Jonathan is a weak man. Once they say, bomb in Abuja, he runs away. But they feel that he's that weak. He after all, whatever it is, it's just 4 years. He's going to come and go, and then the power returns to the south, to the north for 8 years. So, and all their prayer is this guy, President Tinubu, should not return to power. That is just all what they are looking at. President Tinubu, no matter what the situation is, should and will not return to power. Else, they're going to be dead because it's his last 4 years that he's going to do anything and everything to continually decimate the North. Because again, remember, they're already angry that he is not even listening to them. He is not doing what they want. He's not doing their bidding, and so they want him really out. So I'm just wondering what's going to happen. So given these scenarios, really, I personally just feel that it's going to be dramatic if he joins the presidential election. It's going to be really dramatic. Now, I haven't given you this laydown of these three southern candidates. The North will now have a reason to choose one person amongst these three, right? If they do, and of course Atiku will not be the bride. Atiku will now be the only person from the North, because given what we have seen, it's not looking like he's going to come up again and to share the Kano vote.